Hi everyone, this is Mondays with Marian. So today we actually are doing something really cool. Most of the time it's me talking in my living room about sort of my experience and what I went through and pieces of advice. But one of the things I wanted to do was really introduce you guys to other amazing females who are also women of color who are doing amazing things. And this person is my friend Nicole, and she is the owner of Maharlika and Jeepney in New York City.
Hi, my name is Nicole Ponseca. I'm Filipino-American, and I'm the owner and CEO of Maharlika Filipino and Jeepney Filipino Gastro Club here in New York City. So I've been in the restaurant business since 1998, so it's coming up on 20 years. But I feel like I've been an entrepreneur all my life. Even if I didn't have a business, I feel like entrepreneurship is a state of mind. Well, when you're an entrepreneur, you have to be resourceful. You have to look for solutions. Even when I was in advertising, I felt like I was an entrepreneur because I dealt with the business as if it was my own. One word that describes myself is resilient. I think that I'm resilient because I've had a lot of curveballs come my way, personally as well as professionally, and I've been able to bounce back. Resilience is the ability to be open to situations, to keep calm, to look for a way out. And so far, even if I didn't come back the way I wanted to, I'm still standing. Other people would describe me in different ways. Loud is a term, but loud comes off in more than just the sound of my voice. Loud can be how vocal I am, how much I will protest things that are wrong. I will congratulate people when they're doing an amazing job. So I think loud is another way to describe me. I think that being resilient is probably one of the most important traits that you can be just now in the times that we're in, politically, economically, generationally. We're in this very interesting vortex of time, and it really requires people to be resilient. We don't know what's around the bend. There's a lot of uncertainty. And if you don't have that ability to be resilient, or at least to have friends that you can hold on to, it can be very trying. So resilience for me is one of the most important qualities. Now loud can get a bad rap. Loud is like, especially if you're a woman, loud can be looked upon so negatively. Oh, she's too loud, or she has too much to say. And to those people, I say, that's your problem, that's not mine. One of the biggest challenges of being a female minority entrepreneur is that in order for me to be successful, I can't just do it once, I have to do it twice in order for people to take me more seriously. I am one of the pioneers, if not one of the first pioneers of the Filipino food movement. I worked hard on that. I worked for 12 years to learn how to cultivate Filipino food, to how to brand it, to how to present it. And I don't think I was taken as seriously until my second restaurant, which is Jeepney. But there are a myriad of male entrepreneurs, some of them chefs, some of them minorities and some aren't, that out of the bat, right out of the gate, they can be heralded as geniuses. Whereas me, I might have to work a little bit harder, or have to have that many more examples of success. But I'll have to tell you, if you're a woman out there, and if you're a female entrepreneur, person of color, that can get in your head. And as many people out there that will doubt you or not take you as seriously, there's going to be a whole other group of people that will. So pay no mind to those who don't, and look for the people that will. There's something to be said about trusting yourself and building a relationship with yourself. One of my biggest wins is making a promise to myself that I would one day open a Filipino restaurant, and that it would forever change the way Filipino food is looked at. And I hold myself accountable to my dreams, and that was one of the biggest wins, that I was able to accomplish what I put out for myself. Other wins is that 90% of restaurants fail within the first year. And if the average restaurant cost about $500,000, that's $4.5 million that go down the drain each year with restaurants that fail in year one. And my restaurant has now gone on to year 6, and I opened it with $10,000. So I think that that's a pretty big win. There are certain advantages to being a woman business owner who is also a person of color. And I encourage other women who are POCs to look for women, and I believe it's women and minority-owned certificates. There are a lot of businesses out there that need to do contracts and business with minority and ethnically owned businesses. And if you get certified, it's almost a layup that you're already getting business through the door. You know, I just had lunch yesterday with one of my biggest mentors, who is Loida Lewis. She is a Filipino businesswoman, a philanthropist, and industrialist. She was the first Filipino to, I believe, pass through the bar without even studying, and she passed. She also was the CEO of Beatrice, TLC. And I asked her the same question, if she ever felt being a woman or being a woman of color was ever a disadvantage. And she said no, that she never ever considered it. And I have to agree. It wasn't until recently that I started seeing how different vendors might treat me different, like plumbers, electricians, they'll treat me different. But other than that, I don't see any disadvantage. It's my game to win. You know, I think I had it made when I was younger because I was so naive and I was so full of hope and full of life that I didn't let a lot of things hold me back. It's actually about 5 years, 6 years in that I started feeling the weight of responsibility and my journey dragging me down. And so I think what I would tell, not necessarily my younger self, in my 20s, but my 30-something self, to hold my friends closer and to continue working just as hard as I did in my 20s, but just a little bit smarter. And I think the last thing I would tell myself is to go easy on myself, because it can be very hard. I have very much a tiger mom who was really hard on me, and I think I carried that forward. And in some ways it propelled me, and in some ways held me back. The one piece of advice I have for other female entrepreneurs out there is to execute. I don't care if your dream is to own a shoelace company, a cupcake company, to be the next media company. The most important thing is to execute something every day, no matter what size. If you want to be a blogger, do a portion of your blog a day. The one thing that can hold us back is our pent-up feelings or our excuses that we have other things to do. So if you can commit just one part of your day to executing, I find it very valuable. And my advice to you is ask yourself, what can I do in 10 minutes? If you can do something in 10 minutes, it's amazing how that can snowball. Because I have such a hard family, and because they are not entrepreneurs, and none of them have been in the restaurant industry, I actually didn't tell my family that I was pursuing the restaurant business. I kept it hidden from them for about 15 years. And in fact, it wasn't until they saw me on the Facebook, as they say, or in the New York Times, that my mother wound up calling me and said, "Nikki, did you open a restaurant?" And I told her then that yes, I had. So I kept it from them because one of the main things is you have to keep people around you that support you. That doesn't mean that they're always going to tell you what you want to hear. They may give you harsh advice, but you got to keep people away from you who think that you can't do it. Because what they're really telling you is that they can't. My parents' dream for me was to have a condo, a sports car, and live close to San Diego, close to them, and become a lawyer. So this was really out of the box for them. My parents have always had the same opinion. They knew I was a little bit bossy at a young age. They knew I had big dreams. I moved to New York City with $75, no job, no place to live, no friends. I had nothing. And I didn't tell them that I was moving here. They found out after the fact that I had a one-way ticket here. So It's always been part of me, like I said earlier, this entrepreneurial spirit that I was going to land on my feet and make things happen. So I think that they're not surprised, although I still think they wish I had like a 4-bedroom home in San Diego and driving a sports car. Aside from being resilient, aside from being loud or outspoken, aside from keeping people close to you that you respect and respect your dreams, I would say one of the biggest things I'll tell you is that timing literally is everything. And I think there is a quote that Woody Allen said, and he says that sometimes success is just showing up. So as long as you keep working toward your dreams, and I really mean this isn't bullshit, this isn't canned advice, I'm living proof that if you focus, take your time, do your research, stay humble, your time will come. I am not a millennial, but you can definitely find me on social media. I'm at Nicole Ponseca on Instagram and at Twitter. You can find me at LinkedIn as well as Facebook. And if you just want to shoot me an email, my email is mabuhainicole@gmail.com.
Thank you guys so much. I hope you really enjoyed that video. There were a lot of really good pieces of advice that Nicole had from her own experience. I hope you guys learned a lot. Feel free to reach out to her with her email address that we put below. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you really enjoyed this, please feel free to comment. Send me an email if you have any questions or any topic suggestions that you want me to talk about or to feature. Please send me an email at mondayswithmarian@gmail.com, or you can reach me and follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you really enjoyed this, or if you know someone that would really benefit from hearing these messages, please feel free to share this video. Thank you so much, and until next time, this is Mondays with Marian.